What's up, everybody? This is Albert, pronouns he, him, his, and we're back with another video for another book in the reading list for Raising Souls. So this one is titled The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. So this one might be like the shortest video for a book because this isn't a memoir. This is actually a collection of short stories, and it's a very short book. I finished this within like three or 3 or 4 days, and it delves into the experiences of Black women that grew up in the church and having to navigate sexuality, respectability, and pretty much like the behind the scenes views of Black women that grew up in the church, but also navigating things that may be contradictory to what the churches be preaching. So this is it delves into the lives. This is mainly delves into the lives of Black women in the South, which I appreciate because there's a lot of culture. There's a lot of history within the rich history within the South. So let's get into it. So the first story was titled Eula, and this was it delves into the conversation between these two women named Carletta and Eula, and they were spending a hotel room together, and for New Year's Eve and New Year's, and they're in a queer. They have like this queer relationship, but this is like an early time period, so it's where DL culture, it's pretty common in those days. So I think Eula said for her New Year's resolution she wanted to get married and have a husband, but I guess this was like a casual lesbian relationship that they were having, and they were kind of friends. So I think it's kind of similar to, if y'all are aware about Whitney Houston and her relationship with what's her name, Robin. And apparently there's a rumor that there's a queer relationship with them, and then she couldn't marry Robin because of homophobia and stuff like that, so she ended up marrying Bobby Brown. So I guess this is kind of tied to a nice parallel to what Carletta and Eula were having the discussion in New Year's. They were talking about having resolutions about trying to have about being established, even though it's really hard for queer women to get established during that time period. So that was it, and then they ended up sharing an intimate night at that hotel to celebrate New Year. So that's basically it. So it's basically, and they were raised in a church, so they had to face all these type of messages about being in certain relationships, what to do with their sexuality and all that stuff. And then that was it. And then the next one was titled Not Daniel. And this was about a woman who was participating in an affair with the woman works at a hospice center, and there was a co-worker that she had participated in an extramarital affair, because the hospice worker was married and had children. So it deals with one thing that the church says not do to another thing that the church says not do, which was infidelity and all that stuff. So it delves into why a person just express the passion that they want from the person that they found attractive, and not toning it down, and felt some sexual freedom from it. So, and then I think that realized like what they were looking for wasn't there, so they ended up ending the affair. But she did not like regret it, because it was an activity that made her felt a little more free and more, I guess you can say it's just it just gives you some adult wisdom after the activity that it makes you think about what you want in a passionate relationship. And then the next story is titled "Dear Sister," which I think that's my favorite story. "Dear Sister," it was this woman wrote a letter to her long lost, well, not her long lost sister. She wrote it to a sister she never really got to meet that well, on her through her father, and her father passed away, so she wrote a letter to her sister Janet, and it's family dysfunctions and stuff like that, mainly between the woman who wrote the letter named Nichelle and the sisters that she lived with at where she resides. So it's like her father was out there, so she had another daughter that's far away from Nichelle and them. So it was a very beautiful letter. It talks about like, because we don't we don't really have that much of a strong relationship with our father, here's another opportunity of something that can make us focus on love in our family and make sure we have care, and just know that if you need us, we'll be here. You're our sister, and there's nothing. Really, all we can do is really love you. So it was a very sweet letter. And then the next short story was titled "Peach Cobbler," which deals with this girl named Olivia, and it was she had a very tough relationship with her mother. Her mother is one of those judgmental church people. And next thing you know, her mother is having an affair with the pastor. So it was this was it was a kind of a it was kind of a funny, not funny story. But it was so she knew about that, and then she talked about her mom's peach cobbler. She said it was the best peach cobbler that she ever had. It's so much story with that peach cobbler. Like, it's the peach cobbler that the pastor be eating when he comes to their house, and her mom never lets her in the kitchen, so she had to learn how to make peach cobbler herself, and then her mom wants her to go to the pastor's house to tutor his son, and the pastor is married and has a son. So Olivia goes to the house to tutor, and then apparently there comes a relationship between her and the son. And the son's name is Trevor. And then her and the son, they I think she lost her virginity to him, and what else happened? And she met the pastor's wife, the first lady, and the first lady, as described in the book, is very nice. And then as life went on, like it was the son's senior year, so he was going off to college. He even went to prom, and then Olivia realized like he had a prom date, and he apparently has a girlfriend. So it's like, oh, so we did this, and you never told me you had a girlfriend. So it made, and she realized she's kind of repeating the same things that her mother was doing, and then she ended up resenting her mother at the end. So it tells you about really be careful with what you say to people, and you never realize like how criticisms really make people do these cycles and stuff like that. And then the next story is titled Snowfall. Snowfall is about Arletha and Rhonda, and Arletha and Rhonda, they're lesbians, and they live in New York, and then Arletha was pretty much reminiscing because she Arletha and Rhonda were both from the South. One is from Georgia and one is from Florida. And Arletha was reminiscing the what she missed about the South and the sense of community that she gets. She missed the cooking, she missed the culture, she missed the environment that she was in, and then she got all emotional and she had a good relationship with her mother. But Rhonda, on the other hand, doesn't like to remember the South and didn't have a good relationship with her mother. So Rhonda kind of realized like she kind of envied Arletha's relationship to her mom, and then Arletha broke down at one moment because she really missed the South. She really feels like she hates New York. She just doesn't like to be there. And then it took Rhonda some time to realize, like, if she really cares for Arletha to be happy. So it was a very nice story. And then the next story is How to Make Love to a Physicist. And I forgot the woman's name, but she was pretty much describing how she was falling in love with a physicist, as pretty much a scientist that she met at a conference, and they were talking about it's pretty much what it goes into delving into a romantic relationship. It's a very nice, passionate story about love, and realizing you didn't realize what good is until you've been not cherishing or valuing it enough. So, and it took her therapy to realize, like, you're running away from good things, and she has a habit of doing that, and she realized, like, the man is pretty nice and she should pursue him. And then the next story is titled Jael, and this is perspectives between the Jael and Jael's grandmother, and it's perspectives between generations. So there's grandma, who has the perspective of, say, like a baby boomer, or what was the generation before baby boomers, that era, and then Jael, who is probably like millennial Gen Z type of person, and pretty much the generational, how that's different when it comes to family, religion, sexuality. And I think Jael has a girlfriend, and grandma, I don't think is her grandma's kind of free spirited, but she's like getting there when it comes to like affirming Jael and being in a relationship with a woman. And then the next story was pretty funny. It's titled Instructions for Married Christian Husbands. So this is like it was like a manual for, like, if you want to participate in an extramarital affair, here are these things that need to be done, these rules, these guidelines. There's boundaries that need to be made if you want to if you want to partake in this action to married Christian husbands. So it's pretty much tells you about like how ridiculous pretty much this activity is, but like at the same time it's gives you like a sense of, it pretty much explains why people be doing extramarital affairs. Is it out of relief? Is it out of pleasure? Is it out of when you go home, you think of work, you think of stress, you think of all these things, you think of church, you think of your kids, what they have to do for them. And then when you go to this woman's house, here are the guidelines on what makes and how you can have an environment that's free and sexually liberated. So that's what that story was about. So it's pretty funny. Like, if you have to read this story to like it's literally a manual. Like, it says, like, if you have any questions, see that there's like literally a frequently asked questions section. And then the next story is titled When Eddie Levert Comes. So it's a very nice story about a daughter taking care of her mom. And her mom, I think, was going through dementia or Alzheimer's. And she always reminisces about Eddie Levert from the OJs. Like, I think she always had a crush on Eddie Levert. I think she actually met Eddie Levert at one point, and the grandma and her mom, it was very sad. Like, she was literally preparing herself and trying to see Eddie Levert from the OJs. Like, and like she said, like, Eddie Levert is going to come to my house. I need to get myself ready and stuff like that. So and it makes her realize like how much it's important to have like that sense of joy for music and towards a person you probably never know that well, but you know they're talented, you know that they're here to express that they're expressing themselves. So she loves Eddie Levert from the OJs, but the daughter had kind of holds some hostility and resentment towards her mom, and she kind of felt neglected because if y'all ever heard of the phrase mamas raise their daughters but love their sons, because the daughter has two other brothers. Like, the brothers never got spanked, they never get like the punishment, they never had to really even take care of the mom, but the daughter was always there. She was the nurse, she was the therapist, she was the cook, she was the assistant, the caregiver, and the daughter pretty much felt away. She felt like she never got appreciated. But there was one moment where the daughter was taking care of the mom, and the daughter kind of like asked the mom questions about life and stuff like that, and the mom actually remembered the daughter's name, so that made the daughter very emotional. And it's like, because the mom at the moment that she's in, what can she really do, and knowing that she has a daughter and she knows her daughter's name, it made her feel special and know that the mom cared for her and really appreciates everything that she's done. So it tells you about how important having affirmations from others are. Literally just it's hard to like go through life every day and the same old things happen. Like, you tend to forget about the people that contribute to your everyday activities and how you're going through life, feeling loved and feeling cared for. So I think that's what the message came from When Eddie Levert Comes. And yeah, that was it. So yeah, it's a very short um book that we went through today. So again, that's The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. So I think this is the first book that's not a memoir. It's it's a very nice collection, and it makes you go through all the feelings. It makes you laugh, it makes you sad, it makes you angry, it makes you have all these emotions, and tells you about the lives of people that you don't really think when you think of church. They don't think they tend to think of these respectable women and with the nice hats and the nice dresses, but when you go home, is church still at home? So it shows you like it literally shows you like how the church is, there's a space to do these certain things, but when you're going out into the world, how are you actually practicing what's being preached in the church, and how are you actually centering theological, moral values when you're going through life, and does it really and how religion plays a part in it. So all right, y'all, make sure y'all follow my reading list at Raisin Souls on Instagram, and my personal Instagram at Intellectual Albert, which will be on the description box below. And yeah, y'all enjoy your day, and y'all have a good day. All right, bye.